Success begins in the mind, a simple yet profound truth that holds the key to unlocking every possibility within our reach. It all starts with thought. Our minds are powerful, capable of shaping our reality in ways that we may not always fully understand. What we believe, what we focus on, and what we constantly think about are the very building blocks of success. Every achievement, every breakthrough, and every triumph begins with a single thought, the seed of an idea. And from that seed, with the right nurturing, comes the entire experience of success. We live in a world where we are often told that success comes from hard work, luck, or external circumstances. But what if the most crucial element to success is not what happens outside of us, but what takes place within? The mind is the foundation upon which everything else is built. No matter how hard we work or how much effort we put into something, without the right mindset, success remains elusive. Success is not something that is bestowed upon us, it is something we create. And we create it by first understanding that it all begins in the mind. When we think about success, we often envision a final outcome, a big win, a major accomplishment, a moment of recognition. But the truth is, the process of success begins long before we see the fruits of our labor. It begins in the mental realm. Our thoughts are like blueprints for what is to come. They shape our actions, our decisions, and even our emotions. It is through our thoughts that we begin to visualize the possibilities, to imagine what could be, and to set ourselves on the path toward achieving those possibilities. Without that initial spark of thought, nothing can be achieved. The power of the mind is vast. It can either work in our favor or against us. When we believe in our abilities, when we cultivate a mindset of possibility, the mind will guide us toward success. But when doubt, fear, and negative thinking take over, the mind can become a barrier, holding us back from reaching our full potential. The key is to consciously direct our thoughts in a way that serves us. The most successful people in the world understand this fundamental truth. They know that their thoughts have the power to shape their future, and they take full responsibility for the thoughts they allow to occupy their minds. What we think about consistently becomes our reality. Our thoughts shape our beliefs, and our beliefs shape our actions. The mind doesn't just passively absorb information, it actively works to create the reality that aligns with what it believes. If we constantly focus on failure or obstacles, the mind will find ways to reinforce those beliefs. On the other hand, if we focus on success, on possibility, and on our ability to overcome challenges, the mind will work tirelessly to help us achieve those outcomes. Our thoughts are not mere reflections of our circumstances. They are the driving force behind the circumstances we experience. Success is not something that happens by chance. It's a process, and it starts with the decision to believe that success is possible. Once that belief is established, the mind begins to work in alignment with that belief, opening up opportunities, creating ideas, and leading us to the right people and resources. The mind is a magnet that attracts what it believes it deserves. When we think success, we attract success. When we think failure, we attract failure. It's a law of attraction, not in the mystical sense, but in the very real psychological sense, that our beliefs and thoughts influence our actions and ultimately our outcomes. Success, therefore, is not just a series of actions performed in the physical world. It is a mental process that begins with a thought. The first step is believing that it is possible. From there, everything else falls into place. The mind holds the power to create, to transform, and to manifest the life we desire. But it all starts with one crucial ingredient, the belief that success begins in the mind and that the mind can shape the course of our lives. Every successful journey begins with a thought, a simple yet profound idea that grows over time. It is a seed planted in the fertile soil of the mind, waiting to be nurtured and cultivated. Just as a physical seed requires care, attention, and the right conditions to sprout, so too does the seed of success. The idea may start small, perhaps fleeting or vague, but with determination and focus, it can transform into something powerful. This initial thought is not just any random thought. It's a seed of possibility, a spark of potential that can evolve into a life-changing reality. The key, however, lies in how we treat that thought once it enters our mind. Will we let it fade away, or will we water it, give it light, and allow it to grow? To cultivate this seed, we must first nurture it with belief. Belief in the possibility of success is essential. Without belief, the seed will never take root. If we doubt its potential or lack confidence in our own abilities, the thought will wither before it can even begin to grow. On the other hand, when we feed it with confidence and conviction, the idea begins to take shape, and we start to see the potential for success. This belief doesn't just reside in our minds, it resonates through our actions, attitudes, and decisions. When we truly believe that something is possible, our thoughts, behaviors, and efforts align with that belief. We begin to act in ways that make success more likely. The idea that success starts in the mind becomes a guiding principle, one that shapes everything we do. As the seed of success continues to grow in our minds, it begins to develop a vision. Vision is the natural progression from belief, the ability to see the end result even before it is manifested. It's the mental picture of what success looks like, feels like, and even sounds like. Without a clear vision, the path to success can feel unclear or uncertain. But when we have a vision, we know exactly where we are going. Our minds begin to work tirelessly to turn that vision into reality. Every thought, every action, every step is taken with the vision of success in mind. The power of visualization is extraordinary. It allows us to picture our desired outcome and mentally rehearse the steps to get there. The clearer and more vivid the vision, the more likely it is to manifest in our reality. However, it is not enough to simply have a thought, belief, and vision. Success requires focus and discipline. The mind is a powerful tool, but it can also be easily distracted. There are countless opportunities for doubt, fear, and negativity to creep in, especially when faced with challenges or setbacks. But just as a plant requires care and attention to thrive, so too does the mind. To keep the seed of success alive, we must consistently focus on it, protect it from the weeds of doubt, and nurture it with positive thoughts and actions. It's easy to be distracted by the noise of the world around us, but true success comes from maintaining a laser focus on our goals, even in the face of adversity. By doing so, we ensure that the seed of success can continue to grow into something truly extraordinary. At the heart of success is the ability to stay committed, to trust the process even when results are not immediate. This is where perseverance plays a crucial role. The mind, when guided by a strong belief in success, will find ways to overcome obstacles. But without persistence, the initial thought, the seed, can easily be abandoned. The road to success is rarely straight. It is filled with twists, turns, and challenges that test our resolve. But when we commit to our vision and refuse to let go, the mind continues to work in alignment with our goals. The seed, once planted, will grow steadily, sometimes in unexpected ways, but always moving toward the goal we have set. Success does not happen overnight, but with patience and persistence, the seed of success eventually transforms into the reality we envision. Success, therefore, is a journey that begins with a thought. It starts with a belief in something greater, something achievable, and it grows from there. Every successful person understands that their success did not start with their actions. It began with their thoughts. The mind is where the journey starts, and it is through the mind that we create the path forward. Whether the goal is personal growth, financial freedom, or making a difference in the world, it all begins with a thought, an idea that, when nurtured, has the power to change everything. The question is not whether success is possible. It's whether you are willing to believe in the seed of possibility that is planted in your mind. The moment you believe it, you begin the journey toward making it a reality. Success requires not only a thought, but a clear and definite purpose, a goal that drives everything forward. A definite purpose is essential for success. It is the focal point around which all efforts and actions revolve. Without a definite purpose, success is like a ship adrift on the ocean, without a compass or direction. It may be moving, but it has no clear destination. The importance of a definite purpose cannot be overstated because it provides the clarity and focus needed to navigate through the challenges that inevitably arise along the way. Without purpose, motivation falters, and the mind loses its sense of direction. Purpose fuels passion, and passion drives actions. When we have a clear and definite purpose, the mind becomes focused and intent on achieving that goal. To clarify, a definite purpose is not just a vague wish or desire. It is a specific, well-defined goal that we are determined to achieve, no matter what obstacles stand in our way. This goal must be compelling enough to inspire us, to ignite our inner drive, and to keep us moving forward even when times get tough. A purpose without conviction is simply a dream. It is the unwavering belief in that purpose that transforms it into a reality. The mind, when focused on a definite purpose, aligns all of its energy, thoughts, and actions toward achieving that goal. It becomes a laser beam, cutting through distractions and obstacles with single-minded determination. When our purpose is clear, we are no longer scattered or uncertain. We know exactly what we are striving for, and we approach each day with intention and focus. This purpose serves as a guiding star, reminding us of the bigger picture when we get caught up in the mundane struggles of day-to-day life. Life is full of distractions, setbacks, and doubts. But when we have a definite purpose, we can see beyond those momentary challenges. The purpose becomes our reason for persistence, our fuel to keep going when the path seems unclear. Every obstacle is viewed as a stepping stone, every setback as a lesson to be learned. When the purpose is strong enough, the mind will find a way to overcome any adversity. It will not be swayed by temporary difficulties or emotional lows. Instead, it will remain anchored in the belief that the purpose is worth pursuing, no matter the cost. Moreover, a definite purpose helps in the decision-making process. Every choice we make, every step we take is influenced by this clear objective. Decisions are easier when we have a purpose, because it provides a filter for what aligns with our goal and what does not. A person with a definite purpose does not waste time on things that do not contribute to their success. They know what matters and what does not. Purpose drives efficiency and focus, cutting through the noise of distractions. It is no surprise that successful individuals, regardless of their field, are deeply driven by a clear purpose. This sense of direction is what separates those who achieve great things from those who remain stuck in indecision or aimless pursuit. The power of a definite purpose lies in its ability to create momentum. Once the purpose is clear, the mind begins to attract everything necessary to achieve that purpose. It draws opportunities, resources, and ideas into the person's life, and the individual is naturally guided toward the right decisions and actions. The mind works like a magnet, aligning circumstances and people with the purpose it is focused on. This process is not magical, but deeply psychological. When we are certain of our purpose and are committed to seeing it through, the mind and body work in harmony to bring that vision to life. The clarity of purpose removes uncertainty and doubt, replacing them with unwavering confidence and a deep trust in the journey. Ultimately, success is not a random occurrence. It is the result of deliberate intention and focus. The mind, when directed toward a definite purpose, becomes a powerful force, channeling all of its energy into making that purpose a reality. The journey may not always be smooth, and challenges will undoubtedly arise, but with a clear purpose, we remain resilient, knowing that every challenge is a part of the process. A definite purpose is the foundation upon which success is built, and it is this foundation that supports everything else that follows. When the mind is aligned with a powerful, definite purpose, success becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Faith is the cornerstone of any successful endeavor. It's the unwavering belief in the possibility of achieving our dreams, even when the path forward seems unclear. Faith is not just an abstract concept, it is a powerful force that drives us to keep moving forward, despite the challenges that arise along the way. In the journey to success, faith acts as a bridge between the desire to succeed and the ability to achieve that success. It is the fuel that keeps us going when we face setbacks, the invisible hand that guides us through moments of doubt, and the belief that success is not just possible but inevitable if we continue on our path. When faith is present, it changes the way we approach obstacles. Instead of viewing challenges as insurmountable, We begin to see them as temporary hurdles that can be overcome. Faith helps us to reframe setbacks, allowing us to view them as opportunities for growth, learning, and resilience. It shifts our mindset from a fixed mindset, where failure is final and success is out of reach, to a growth mindset, where every experience contributes to our development. Faith transforms the way we think about ourselves and our potential. It encourages us to take risks, to step outside our comfort zones, and to trust that we are capable of achieving more than we may have ever imagined. The belief that success is possible gives us the courage to keep going, even when the road is uncertain. It's important to note that faith is not a passive feeling. It requires action. Faith without action is simply wishful thinking. True faith is demonstrated through our commitment, our willingness to work toward our goals, and our perseverance in the face of adversity. When we have faith in ourselves and our abilities, we are more likely to take the necessary steps toward achieving our goals, even when those steps are difficult. It's this faith-driven action that creates momentum, propelling us forward even when the outcome is not immediately apparent. Faith, therefore, becomes both the driving force and the foundation for all of our efforts. It allows us to act boldly, to move forward with conviction, and to trust that the results will follow. One of the most significant ways faith impacts our journey to success is by influencing our mindset. A person who believes in their ability to succeed is more likely to think positively, stay motivated, and push through obstacles. Faith breeds optimism, and optimism fuels resilience. When we have faith, we begin to see the potential in every situation, no matter how challenging it may seem. It shifts our focus from what could go wrong to what could go right. This positive mindset is crucial for overcoming the inevitable challenges that arise on the path to success. When setbacks occur, as they inevitably will, faith helps us maintain a sense of hope and confidence, even in the face of adversity. It strengthens our resolve and keeps us aligned with our goals, ensuring that we remain focused on the end result, rather than getting discouraged by the temporary difficulties along the way. Moreover, faith is contagious. When we exude confidence and belief in our own abilities, others around us begin to believe in us as well. Whether it's our colleagues, mentors, or loved ones, our faith has the power to inspire others to support us, to encourage us, and to join us in our journey toward success. This support network becomes invaluable, especially during challenging times. Having others who believe in us can make all the difference, providing the emotional and psychological strength needed to keep going when we feel like giving up. Faith in ourselves creates a ripple effect, bringing others into our orbit who share in our belief and contribute to our success. In summary, faith is more than just belief. It is a transformative force that shapes our journey toward success. It is the bridge that connects our dreams with our reality, the driving force that keeps us moving forward, even when the path is unclear. Faith helps us view obstacles as opportunities. It fuels our actions, and it empowers us to keep going despite setbacks. It creates a mindset that fosters optimism, resilience, and perseverance. And perhaps most importantly, faith is contagious. It inspires others to believe in us and join us in our mission. With faith in ourselves and our goals, we are equipped to face any challenge and to achieve the success we desire. The mind becomes powerful when it develops the ability to maintain focus. Focus is the ability to direct all mental energy toward one specific purpose, shutting out distractions and resisting the pull of scattered thoughts. In a world filled with noise, constant stimulation, and endless demands on our attention, focus has become one of the most valuable assets a person can cultivate. It is the sharp blade that cuts through confusion and keeps us on track. When the mind is focused, it becomes a force of clarity and determination. Without focus, even the greatest ideas and strongest desires remain unfulfilled, lost in the chaos of distraction and inconsistency. To truly achieve success, we must train our minds to focus relentlessly on our goals. This means eliminating the unnecessary, reducing mental clutter, and choosing daily to direct our attention toward what matters most. The scattered mind is easily swayed, easily defeated, and often overwhelmed. But the focused mind sees the target clearly and takes deliberate steps toward it. Focus brings order to ambition. It aligns our time, effort, and resources with our purpose, making sure that we don't waste energy on things that do not contribute to our vision. Focus gives us the power to say no to the irrelevant and yes to the essential. Developing this level of focus requires discipline. It means setting boundaries around our time and energy. It means turning away from distractions, whether they come from the outside world or from within our own thoughts, and returning to the path we have chosen. The disciplined mind learns to guard its focus like a treasure, knowing that every moment of clarity moves it one step closer to success. It also means being intentional about what we consume mentally. The books we read, the conversations we engage in, the content we absorb, all of these shape our focus. A focused mind does not leave these choices to chance. It selects carefully, knowing that focus is a fragile and precious resource. Focus also brings power because it accelerates progress. What we consistently think about, we begin to act upon. When our thoughts are aligned and undistracted, our actions become more purposeful and effective. Instead of being pulled in 10 different directions and making little progress in each, we move forward powerfully in one direction. Even small, focused actions compound over time to create massive results. This consistency, born of focus, is what separates those who wish for success from those who actually achieve it. Focused effort turns potential into performance, it creates momentum, and builds confidence. With each step, the vision becomes clearer, and the destination draws nearer. Moreover, focus protects the mind from doubt and fear. When we are focused on our purpose, we spend less time second-guessing ourselves or comparing our journey to others. The focused mind stays grounded in its own path and finds satisfaction in progress, not perfection. It doesn't seek constant validation because it draws strength from inner clarity. It understands that every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. It doesn't waste time looking sideways, it looks forward. Our focus is not just about productivity. It is about living with intent, with clarity, and with deep commitment to what truly matters. In the end, success is not a matter of doing more things. It is about doing the right things with intense focus. The most successful individuals are not those who are constantly busy, but those who are consistently focused. They understand that every distraction carries a cost, and that real progress comes from sustained attention. Focus is the tool that sharpens our goals, strengthens our discipline, and speeds up our journey. When the mind becomes focused, it becomes powerful, and with that power, success is no longer a distant dream. It becomes an inevitable result of unwavering direction and purposeful action. Persistence is the silent force that turns dreams into reality. It is the ability to continue moving forward, even when progress is slow and results seem far away. While talent and intelligence are valuable, they mean little without persistence. Success does not belong to those who start strong and give up when things get hard. It belongs to those who keep going day after day despite setbacks, delays, and failures. Persistence is a mindset. It is the refusal to quit, the decision to rise every time we fall, and the quiet determination to outlast every obstacle that stands in the way. Persistence gives power to our vision. It proves how serious we are about our goals. Anyone can be inspired at the beginning of a journey, but only the persistent remain committed when that inspiration fades. It is during those moments of frustration and fatigue that persistence becomes the most valuable. The truth is, success often shows up long after the effort has been made. It arrives silently, without warning, in the life of the one who never stopped trying, the one who persisted while others quit. Every great achievement in history was fueled by people who simply refused to give up. They faced rejection, failure, and hardship, but they endured. There will be days when quitting seems easier, days when nothing goes according to plan, when your progress feels invisible and your strength feels depleted. These moments are the true tests of persistence. It is easy to keep going when things are working out, but true persistence is proven when nothing is going right. It is the voice in your head that says, "Keep going," even when you're tired. It is the strength to take one more step, even when it feels like you've reached your limit. and it is this persistence that separates those who dream from those who do. What makes persistence powerful is that it compounds. Every time you choose to keep going, you build mental strength. You teach your mind that setbacks are temporary, that failure is not the end, and that progress is still being made even when it's not visible. Over time, this persistence builds momentum. What once felt like a struggle begins to feel like second nature. You develop endurance, resilience, and grit. The journey does not get easier, but you get stronger. And with that strength comes the confidence to keep pushing forward, knowing that success isn't a matter of luck or timing. It's a matter of refusing to stop. The power of the subconscious mind is one of the greatest forces available to us, yet it is often misunderstood or underestimated. The subconscious mind operates quietly beneath the surface, recording every thought, belief, and emotion we feed it. Whether consciously or not, it does not reason or judge. It simply accepts and acts upon the instructions it receives. This is why it's so important to feed it the right information, the right beliefs, and the right intentions. What you repeatedly tell yourself, consciously or subconsciously, shapes your behavior, your confidence, and ultimately your results. The mind moves in the direction of its most dominant thoughts, and those thoughts are planted and nurtured deep within the subconscious. When we learn how to influence and reprogram the subconscious mind, we tap into a source of immense personal power. The subconscious doesn't differentiate between reality and imagination. It reacts to what we consistently focus on. So when we visualize success, affirm our worth, and reinforce our goals with clarity and repetition, the subconscious begins to align our actions, habits, and decisions with that vision. It starts guiding us toward behaviors that support our goals, often without conscious effort. This is why many successful people make use of affirmations, visualization, and mental conditioning. They understand that before success can be lived, it must first be programmed into the subconscious mind. The challenge most people face is that their subconscious mind has been shaped by fear, doubt, and negativity, often from childhood experiences or repeated failures. These limiting beliefs become mental barriers that block progress and create self-sabotage. But the truth is, just as the subconscious can be programmed with fear, it can also be reprogrammed with faith, belief, and confidence. This requires awareness and repetition. It means becoming intentional about the thoughts you think and the messages you feed your mind every day. The subconscious responds best to emotion and repetition, so consistent, emotionally charged affirmations and visualizations become tools of transformation. Understanding the power of your subconscious mind gives you an advantage. It means you no longer rely solely on willpower or external motivation. Instead, you cultivate an inner belief system that supports your success, even when you're not consciously thinking about it. You create automatic behaviors that move you closer to your goals. When your subconscious is aligned with your desires, life starts to flow more smoothly. You begin to attract the right people, notice the right opportunities, and make decisions that serve your greater purpose. This is not luck. This is mental alignment. The mind is most powerful when the conscious and subconscious work together toward a unified goal. And once that happens, success is no longer a matter of chance. It becomes a natural outcome. Autosuggestion is the technique by which the mind feeds itself instructions, words, and thoughts that, when repeated often enough, become beliefs. It is the act of deliberately influencing your own thinking through repetition and conviction. Most people use autosuggestion without realizing it, repeating doubts, fears, and negative beliefs to themselves daily. Over time, these thoughts take root in the subconscious, shaping behavior, confidence, and potential. But the power of autosuggestion lies in the ability to reverse that process. It allows you to take control of the messages you send to your mind and rewrite the narrative you live by. Every thought you repeat becomes a seed planted in the fertile ground of your subconscious. The more you water that seed with repetition and emotion, the more it grows. If you consistently tell yourself that you're not good enough, that success is out of reach, or that failure defines you, those beliefs will begin to direct your life. But if you speak power into your mind, statements of strength, clarity, and certainty, you begin to reshape your internal world. And as the internal world changes, so does the external. The principle is simple. Speak what you seek until you see what you said. Autosuggestion is the method by which the mind begins to believe the instructions it receives, even if they initially seem far from reality. To be effective, autosuggestion must be practiced with intent and emotion. The subconscious does not respond to empty words. It responds to belief. That's why affirmations must not only be repeated, but felt. They must be spoken with the conviction that they are already true. Repeating a statement without belief is mechanical, but when you attach emotion, when you feel the words as if they were already a reality, you begin to persuade the subconscious. And once the subconscious accepts an idea as true, it sets out to make that idea real. It directs your actions, habits, and focus to align with what you've repeatedly told it. The real value of autosuggestion is that it gives you the power to become the architect of your mind. You are no longer a prisoner to old beliefs or negative thoughts implanted by others. Instead, you become intentional about your inner dialogue. You choose your thoughts, shape your beliefs, and steer your destiny. Autosuggestion is not magic. It is a mental discipline, a daily decision to speak with purpose and plant seeds of success. And when practiced consistently, it builds a foundation of inner belief so strong that no external force can shake it. In the end, what you repeatedly tell yourself, you become. Use that power wisely, and the life you desire will begin to take shape, one thought at a time. Specialized knowledge is the kind of knowledge that creates power, not just general information, but focused understanding applied with purpose. In the age of information, it's easy to assume that knowledge alone is enough to create success. But success doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from knowing something specific, deeply and clearly, and using that knowledge with precision. General education may open doors, but specialized knowledge builds empires. It gives you a unique edge, a way to stand out, and a foundation upon which you can build something extraordinary. Too often, people confuse learning with progress. They gather endless information, attend countless seminars, read dozens of books, yet still struggle to move forward. Why? Because they never narrow their focus. Specialized knowledge isn't about knowing a little about everything. It's about mastering something that aligns with your purpose. When you identify your definite goal, your mission, your dream, the next step is to gather the specific knowledge required to achieve it. That could mean learning a trade, developing a skill, studying a field, or simply refining a natural talent. What matters is that the knowledge is relevant, targeted, and tied directly to your goal. And knowledge alone is not enough. It must be applied. You can know the theory of success and still fail if you never take action. Specialized knowledge becomes power only when it is organized and directed toward a purpose. This is where many people fall short. They consume knowledge but never use it. True mastery begins the moment you start applying what you've learned in the real world. You learn more by doing than by reading. You grow by failing, adjusting, and trying again. Application transforms knowledge from something passive into something powerful. Moreover, you don't need to know everything yourself. What matters is access to the right knowledge at the right time. Successful people surround themselves with others who have the expertise they lack. They form alliances, consult mentors, hire skilled individuals, and build networks of knowledge. This is another form of specialized intelligence, knowing where to find the answers and who to go to. In the modern world, intellectual capital is often more valuable than financial capital. Specialized knowledge, strategically applied, can open doors that money never could. It can solve problems, create opportunities, and position you as a leader in your field. In the end, it's not about how much you know, it's about how well you use what you know. When you commit to acquiring and applying specialized knowledge aligned with your definite purpose, you create a formula for unstoppable progress. Your mind becomes sharper, your decisions more strategic, and your path more defined. In a world filled with noise and generalities, be the one who chooses depth over distraction. Because those who master something meaningful and use it with intention will always rise above those who simply dabble. Imagination is the workshop of the mind. It is where all great achievements are first formed. not in the hands, but in the thoughts. Every building, invention, business, and idea that changed the world began as a picture in someone's mind. Imagination is not a tool for children or dreamers alone. It is the tool of creators, innovators, and leaders. It allows us to see what does not yet exist and believe in possibilities others cannot see. When directed with purpose, imagination becomes the engine of vision, helping us shape the future before it arrives. There are two kinds of imagination: synthetic and creative. Synthetic imagination uses existing knowledge, experiences, and observations to rearrange old ideas into new combinations. This is how most businesses are built, by combining what is known in a unique way to serve a new purpose. Creative imagination, however, taps into something deeper. It creates entirely new concepts, often appearing as flashes of inspiration or insight. This kind of imagination cannot be forced, but it can be nurtured. It reveals itself when the mind is calm, confident, and connected to a burning desire. It is the subconscious mind responding to the intensity of your focus and belief. Imagination is the bridge between thought and reality. It transforms invisible ideas into concrete actions. But it must be controlled. A mind left to wander without direction will produce confusion and fantasy. A mind guided by purpose will use imagination as a powerful force for progress. The more you feed your imagination with clear goals and vivid visions, the more it will work in your favor, and the more you act on the ideas it produces, the more powerful it becomes. Like any skill, imagination grows with use. The more you dare to imagine, the more possibilities your mind begins to unlock. The most successful people are those who imagined something greater long before it became real. They held the image of success in their minds and acted with certainty, even when the world offered no evidence. That's the strength of imagination. It creates certainty in the face of doubt. It allows you to build your life not based on what is, but on what could be. And when imagination is combined with belief, persistence, and knowledge, it becomes the foundation of all creation. The future belongs to those who see it before it arrives, and imagination is the lens through which they see. Decision is the turning point of every success story. It is the moment when thought becomes action, when desire becomes movement, and when possibilities are narrowed into a clear, deliberate choice. Many people fail not because they lack intelligence or ambition, but because they refuse to decide. They wait, they hesitate, they second-guess. In doing so, they allow doubt to replace desire and fear to replace faith. But those who succeed make decisions quickly and change them rarely. They trust themselves, commit to their path, and act with boldness, even in the face of uncertainty. Indecision is a silent enemy. It quietly drains energy, creates confusion, and allows opportunities to pass by. A mind that cannot decide is a mind that cannot progress. It remains stuck between options, never fully committing to one direction, always wondering, always doubting. And in this indecision, power is lost. Clarity vanishes. The longer a person delays a decision, the more difficult it becomes to act at all. This is why strong decision-making is one of the most powerful traits a person can develop. It creates momentum, builds confidence, and puts you in control of your own life. Every great achievement begins with a clear decision. It is the mental line you draw that says, "This is what I will do. This is who I will become." Once the decision is made, the path begins to reveal itself. Resources, opportunities, and people start to appear, not by magic, but because your focus has shifted. The universe responds to clarity and commitment. When you are all in, you begin to notice solutions that were once hidden by hesitation. The mind that decides is a mind ready to act, to adapt, and to overcome. Decisiveness is not recklessness. It is the result of knowing your purpose, understanding your desires, and trusting your ability to figure things out as you go. You do not need to know every step before you start. You simply need to decide to begin. Success favors the bold, and boldness begins with a choice. Those who wait for the perfect moment often wait forever. But those who decide create their own moment. They take control of their future by owning the present. In life, the decision to act is the first step to becoming who you were meant to be. Choose powerfully, and the rest will follow. The power of the mastermind lies in unity. No one climbs to greatness entirely alone. Behind every major success is a network of minds working in harmony toward a common goal. A mastermind is not merely a group. It is a coordinated alliance of individuals who bring their talents, insights, and energy together for a shared purpose. When two or more minds unite with clarity, trust, and intention, something extraordinary happens. A third, more powerful mind is formed. This is the essence of the mastermind principle. It multiplies strength through collaboration. The greatest thinkers, innovators, and leaders throughout history understood this. They surrounded themselves with others who challenged them, supported them, and contributed ideas they would never have arrived at on their own. They didn't seek to be the smartest in the room. They sought to be in rooms where ideas flowed freely, where each person elevated the thinking of the others. A true mastermind is built on respect, honesty, and shared values. It is not about ego or control. It is about synergy. In a mastermind, the success of one becomes the success of all. Being part of a mastermind creates accountability. When you declare your goals to a trusted group, you are more likely to follow through. You gain feedback that sharpens your thinking, encouragement that fuels your progress, and perspective that reveals what you couldn't see alone. Isolation breeds stagnation, but collaboration, when done with intention, breeds growth. It stretches your vision and keeps you aligned with your higher standard. In a mastermind, challenges are no longer faced alone. Solutions are no longer limited to one perspective. Progress is no longer delayed by doubt. Choosing the right people for your mastermind is critical. Surround yourself with those who are committed to growth, who believe in your potential, and who challenge you to rise higher. Let go of relationships that drain, distract, or discourage. The people around you influence your standards more than you realize. Align with those who see greatness in you, even when you forget to see it in yourself. Because when powerful minds unite with one purpose, they create a force that cannot be ignored. A mastermind is more than a meeting. It's a movement. And it will elevate your life in ways no solitary effort ever could.